All right, so everybody's wondering, why is Solana pumping at the level it is right now? What is happening?
2 words, degenerate apes.
There we go. Maybe, we'll see. Welcome back to Tech Path. My name is Paul Barron, and of course, Lisa on the queue right here.
Here I am.
Jumping in.
Let's go.
Let's get into Solana breaking all-time highs as an ecosystem comes together there.
Okay, so of course we do our research here because that's what we do. Make sure you get what you need to know. The digital asset, Paul, is up 3,400% this year.
Yeah.
Compared with 353% for ETH and 58% for BTC.
Yeah.
Just to contextualize just the surge for the coin. Another thing I'll add is that the blockchain is built for speed and scale, right? So this is one of the things in comparison to ETH that it does better, quite honestly. It can process 50,000 transactions per second and charges less than a penny.
Right.
So what else?
Cheap and fast, man. Cheap and fast.
That's the way we like it over here.
Cheap and fast. Listen, when you look at Solana and in general, I think this is the true project that has the most to go head-to-head with Ethereum in terms of functionality. And also just in general, the DeFi projects that Solana surrounds itself on in terms of the projects themselves are also enhanced and very, very, they're interesting, at least in the very minimal, but more importantly is that a lot of these projects are starting to fly along with Solana.
Okay, well, let's dive a little bit deeper into the degenerate ape story because over the weekend, they sold out all the entire 10,000 collection of apes, which is a phenomenon. I even think that the team was surprised.
Yeah. Well, here's the picture of the degenerate apes, because I love these guys.
I know. They're so cool.
All right, so right there, man, which one would you choose? I like the guy with the kaleidoscope down there on the little thing.
Oh no, my dude is the angel general.
All right, the angel general eating the hot dog or coney dog. Yeah.
There you go, corn dog.
And then this guy, I like VR ape with the Greek battle helmet on.
Gladiator.
Yeah. So all right, off of the degens. So yes, high performance blockchain project led crypto gainers this morning. Obviously, you saw it. You can kind of look at the numbers here. Sol tokens were exchanging hands at 50 secs, up 24%, basically in the last 24 hours. And the reason that it seemed to, didn't have much to do with Solana, which was proof of history. This is the thing. They have some other project applications that are happening at the same time. So you're wondering, is that's what causing Solana to pump?
Right.
Or is it true degenerate apes?
Including Audius.
Yeah. And we have some information for you, very good information that I think will help point in that direction. The other thing, if you guys don't follow this guy, his name is Pentoshi on Twitter. You should jump to his handle right now. So shout out to Pentoshi over there. And he's got some very interesting things. I want to jump to his tweet because this was something that was kind of interesting. Here we go. What do you think here? NFTs.
Ooh, NFTs are something people can relate to from any culture, very true. Right now, however, most NFTs are on top of Ethereum, but what have we seen? So this is interesting because he's posing Ethereum against Solana. So let's dive into the fact that, and I quote, when Degen Ape Academy launched on Sol, a light bulb went off for me. The cost is around 1 cent to mint as opposed to thousands, as we saw something like this take place with BNB over the summer on BSC chain. This is my favorite part though. New people will migrate to things that are faster, cheaper, and easier. Yeah,
which is where this is kind of going. I think he hit it on the head in terms of the migration of NFT and the potential of where degenerate apes kind of just showcased what their capability was and how well something like this could actually function for it to essentially sell out in the speed and time in which it took for it to go. So think about all the artists that are going to be able to move into this platform.
Exactly right.
And be able to do it scale. And look at the head start that they've already implemented when you compare this to what's happening with ETH 2.0.
And that's the thing about it. Solana blockchain is proof of stake. So that's already
in the game.
Exactly right.
Already in the game. Let's take a look quickly at the chart. Before we get into it though, remember This is the market movers that we always do. And the idea behind this is we pull together a little bit of stories, we give you some data, and we jump right into it. Remember, it's not investment advice, but it does hopefully get you guys going in the right direction. To the chart we go, and the idea here was when Solana first started pumping, I want to kind of call out a couple of key dates here. There was a small bit of a sentiment bubble that we were able to pull back on August 15th. And this is a very short period of time in which Solana has been able to do this. So if you think about really where it's gone, this was running at 47.55 with an amplification of 61.22.
Yep.
Now, as you guys know on the channel, this is a big leading indicator when the amp flips above sentiment. And when amplification starts to ramp like that, fireworks are getting ready to happen on it. We don't see it happen very often. And sure enough, that's exactly what happened. If you zoom in on this chart right here, 47.55 was sentiment hold pattern. Amplification jumps to 61.22. And then watch where Solana basically tracks up the chart right here along the line of where the actual coin and token project was moving. And continued. It fell out right here because amplification kind of dipped a little bit and it continued to fly up. So this was kind of in the face.
Look at that upward momentum.
Yeah, right there. This big movement right here. Another bubble that we did right here was 58.19, up from the 47. And again, amplification overperforming. And look what happens. You start to see another move right here. And this is essentially where we are right now. We predicted this little move, and where we are right now is literally online. Now, we did not anticipate this little dip, so I think some people took some profits right here.
Sure.
But you've got this bubble right here coming in at 66.87, and now amplification starts to narrow. So we're at 67.26. This is where it's going to get interesting because that tells me when your amplification and your sentiment start to get tighter, now you start to see sideways action.
Okay.
And that's essentially where you are. Here we are in uncharted territory on the chart. What's happening? Sideways action.
I mean, but listen, it looks like it's testing a new, it's testing that line of support.
Yep.
And
right,
so.
Right there at 68.35 or so.
Exactly right.
Yep.
And so that's going to be a testament directionally. If it breaks that line of support, what do you think it'll land at?
Okay, so Solana, listen, it kind of came out of nowhere, I think, with the Degenerate Ape project. You did see a little bit of early on indicators that kind of pointed that this was going to take off, and it did. But the correlation credential is what I'm watching. Now, this is something this is the first time we've introduced this on the channel. We've used this in some other verticals out there with our media company. And correlation credentials basically look at a subset of the sentiment data. So what it does is it takes data from the sentiment and then it puts it into buckets. So where's the strongest sentiment and what's it related to or correlated to? In this particular case, when you subset the data on sentiment, Degenerate Apes scored an 87.06. The Consensus Project movement scored second at 51.04, and then the cross-chain transfer activity, people talking about these things in terms of what Solana is doing and why they're invested in it, why they're moving on it, why they're getting other people around them to move on it, scored the lowest at 35.09. So it was clearly Degenerate Apes that moved Solana. So does that mean that maybe Consensus and cross-chain transaction starts to maybe get more air because now all the NFTs are sold? But
also too, I think that the proof of concept, the fact that to see NFTs being minted on the platform as seamlessly, as cost effectively, that there's a a pilot of sorts that folks are going to use that as a case study of why this may be a better platform to start minting my NFTs, start selling my NFTs, et cetera.
It's kind of like the rinse repeat type approach. But art takes what? I mean, can you imagine the work that had to go into developing Degenerate Apes? I mean, that's some great work. So just the mindset that artists have to get into to kind of roll it. Now, I wonder how many of those projects are right now down pipeline that are coming up in Solana and soon to be. I would be watching for that.
Pay a lot of attention.
Really doing your deep dives on what kind of NFT projects are moving in this direction. And also, if Consensus starts to get a little bit of traction here, we may see another jump. Now, my question, has this seen its high? I think we're going to see Solana flatline for a little bit, but I would buy it anywhere in the 55 plus range.
Okay.
Yeah, it would be my purchase right now, and it looks like it's going to hit around 66. So right now I'm on the sidelines.
Hey, you know what? I think that time will tell, as usual. We can only look out and forecast, 7-day mark. But one thing I'll say is that with the degenerate apes, I'm curious of whether they'll be the new crypto punks.
Yeah. Well, could be. I mean, value-wise, they could really. I mean, once these start to go out on the markets again, that'll be.
They're already being resold.
Yeah. Any big money yet?
No, not that I know of. But I know that some early buyers have already put their apes on the market. So we
Apes
shall
on
see.
the loose. The dawn of the apes.
It's time to go ape.
There you go. All right. So you guys are listening in over on the podcast right now. Make sure and give us some great kudos over there. We love your feedback.
And if you're watching us on YouTube, be sure to subscribe. Also, we want to hear from you. Comment below. What are your thoughts? Do you own an ape? Would you buy an ape? And Solana, is it the Ethereum killer? I don't know.
Yeah,
Tell us.
lots to unpack here. And you guys, we love the comments. Yeah, so keep them coming.
Yeah, we do.
And of
Thanks,
course,
everybody.
You want to DM, hit me up on Twitter, @PaulBaron. I try to get to as many of those as I can. I am getting flooded a lot on DMs by some people wanting us to cover Hex. We hear you loud and clear. We're trying to get as many projects as we can on the show, but really we have to do a lot of research before we bring you guys something that we even talk about. So we're kind of hopefully your super filter out there. But anyway, stay tuned right here, and we'll catch you next time right here on TechPath.